This podcast is part of the SJ Network. Go to s-j-network.com for more great podcasts and for contact information on publicist Steve Joyner.
Henry, what are you doing on that horse made of concrete?
I thought it was obvious. I want to be a concrete cowboy.
Maybe you should listen to today's interview with Liz Priestley first, to get a better idea of what a concrete cowboy is.
I'll do that, but I better find a bulldozer first.
What on earth do you need a bulldozer for?
It's the simplest way to clean up after a concrete horse.
Attention, rebels of the Sherpalution. Today's podcast is being brought to you by Audible. You can get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/Sherpa. There are over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. And now Mr. Bruce will lead you into the Sherpa Chalet. As a reminder, the restrooms are located near the yellow snow.
Coming to you from Sherpa Chalet in beautiful downtown Mount Podcastia, it's time for entertainment interviews in the Sherpa screening room. Grab an aisle seat and a bucket of popcorn, but don't crunch too loud or you'll miss the show. Now, here's your host, Jim, the podcast Sherpa.
Hey there, Rebels, and welcome to the Sherpa Screening Room, a presentation of Too Many Podcasts. I am Jim, the podcast Sherpa, the 2021 version. Is he taller? No. Richer? No. Better looking? No. Funnier? Come on, give me a break. We're here, and these are one of the types of episodes that I really enjoy. You know, when I'm laughing during these interviews, I'm having fun, and that's a good thing. But when my guest is laughing as well, and we're both having fun, even better, because that's what this show is all about. Having a lot of fun, getting to know people, and that's what we're doing today. Her name is Liz Priestley. She was an opera singer and a musician and a stage actress, and she just got a role in her first movie, and it's going to be on Netflix this year. It's called Concrete Cowboys, and I'm sure it's going to be great. Really looking forward to seeing it. And let's have a listen to my conversation with Liz Priestley. Hello there, Rebels. We are here in the Sherpa Screening Room, and I am really excited to be speaking with our guest today. She is in her first major movie. She's got a lifetime of talent. We've got a lot of stuff to cover here. She's going to keep me pretty busy today. I told her there wasn't going to be any math, but I might change my mind halfway through the interview. I don't know.
Jim, you promised.
She's in a new movie with Idris Elba called Concrete Cowboys. Please give a warm welcome to the lovely Liz Priestley. How you doing, Liz?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me. This is like such a pleasure. It's a thrill. So, yeah.
Now, I know there's just so much to discuss with your talent, and then you ended up in a movie opposite Idris Elba. That's like a weird...
yeah, just a little known actor, a little guy, you know, Idris. Little guy, yeah. Yeah, I sure did.
And that's just the start of a movie career.
Yeah, kind of ironic that's, you know, somebody said to me yesterday, usually when people make their movie debuts, their debuting is, you know, shopper number 4 in the background with a little cart, not opposite Idris Elba playing his wife. But I figured, you know, why not go big?
That's right.
So I'm going big, right?
You're like, yeah. I don't have time for a woman with red purse. Right now.
No, I'm starting at the top, man. I got a criteria. I got a whole thing I got to do now. It's an incredible thing to be able to even just say out loud, much less have lived through. So yeah.
Sure. Now you grew up in Philadelphia?
Just outside. I'm actually from Abington. And, but yeah, I've been here my whole life.
And I know you had a very large musical background. So when did all of this first start? You must have been like a little kid, I'm guessing.
Officially, all right. So it would have started at age 4, which is when I started playing violin. I ultimately played violin for about 18 years. I still play. I can still pick it up and play just fine, but I haven't taken a lesson in a little while. But that was the official start. And then around age 14, I began being trained in classical opera, and kept that up all through high school. And during that time, I ended up studying piano as well, and a couple other things here and there, but not as seriously as those. But turned out singing was the strong talent for sure. And there came a point where, we got to decide, are we gonna go music, or are we gonna do something else? I chose to compromise because despite the musical stuff, I had always wanted to be an actress since I was 7. So that's when that started. So I decided to combine the two and went to school for musical theater and ended up in theater for 25 years. So.
Did you like doing all sorts of roles when you were in the theater, or?
Oh yeah, I mean, mostly musical theater, but I've done all kinds. I mean, I've done productions of Grease and of Annie and How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, and and I've done a bunch of Shakespeare, and I got into college singing songs from Fiddler on the Roof, which I had done when I was in high school, which is probably, I'll never ever get to be in that again. I don't know. But yeah, I did it all. I did it all. It was fun.
Did you have any memorable roles when you were doing these?
Oh man, my favorite, I can't say that. There's so many good ones. I would say it up there would probably be Grease, because I played Marty, which was a role I didn't think I would ever get to play. That was really fun. Plus the costumes. I mean, the 50s costumes, that whole dance scene was just like, oh, my dream. That was fun. I've done actually a lot of original plays here from playwrights in Philly. And after I had my daughter, I took some time off. My first play back was a play called The Matriarch's Mess. And I think that's up there with my favorite roles as well, because it was sort of, I was taking over for somebody that had been let go. So I had a very short time to sort of jump in. And it was so great. I just bonded with the cast right away. I understood that character completely. And I just jumped in, and it was like riding a bike. I didn't forget anything. It was just kind of like, oh, I know how to do this. That was fun. But yeah, I've done quite a few over the years. It's a great industry. You know what I mean? It's a great industry.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially if you're taking on a role in a play that maybe not a lot of people are familiar with. Mm-hmm. When you put your spin on it and people notice that, it kind of becomes, well, this was something that Liz Priestley did.
Yeah. When we did Fiddler on the Roof, for example, they did colorblind casting because if you look at me, you're not looking at a Russian Orthodox Jew. You're looking at a Black woman who, very much looks like a Black woman. So, but, I got to play Huddle in that show, and I got to sing the song Far From the Home I Love. And for like months afterward, people were coming to, such a beautiful, I love that song. And I've never heard it sound so beautiful. I was like, this is great. Because up until that point, the only person I'd ever heard sing that was, who is it? The old Broadway version from, I don't know, the 60s or 70s. So, yeah, it's kind of cool to put my own spin on it, too. And also, I forgot to mention the other thing. When I did Annie, I got to play Grace in Annie. And it was right after there was a TV version of Annie that had been made in, I think, 1996, maybe a little later, but starring Audra McDonald as Grace. And when I was a senior in high school, she did a concert at the Kimmel Center in Philadelphia, and she held a master class before that. Somehow, some way, my name got slipped to her, and I got called out of school in the middle of class one day. They called me down to the office, and they said, pack your bag, you're going to the Kimmel Center, you're going to go do a master class with Audra McDonald. And I was like, whoa, so I got to sing for her, and I got to talk to her about, doing that part, which was the same part she had played. So, she said to me, she's like, do you get to wear a fancy dress at the end? And I said, yes, I do. And she's like, are you going to take it? I was like, are you telling me to steal? Is Audra telling me to steal? I didn't keep the dress, but that was, I would say, through college, people always compared our voices because she has an opera background as well. And so she, for me, is up there in terms of, my heroes. So it was really cool to be able to sing for her and much less meet her. So yeah, that's a highlight for sure.
Okay. You're actually the second opera singer that I've ever interviewed while
Really?
doing the show. Yeah. First guy was a guy named Rosario Moretti, and he's from San Diego.
Okay.
And he's actually from Naples, Italy.
Wow.
And this show was on a while back, and he was saying when he was living in Italy, he now lives in San Diego, he was the front man of a rock band. But he said he wanted to learn how to sing better and make better use of his voice. And someone came to him and said, you should learn opera. He said, that's, the true use of your voice and how to control it and everything.
If you can sing opera, you could probably sing just about anything, because the level of control you have to have over your instrument, it's very precise. So that's incredible. I've never sung for a rock band before. Maybe that I'll have to add that to my list of things.
Did you grow up listening to opera, or did you like all sorts of music? Or?
My family, we listen to all kinds of things. I'm adopted. So my parents, we had everything from, excuse me, I'm going to name some people that I grew up listening to.
Okay.
Stevie Wonder, Bonnie Raitt, James Taylor, Donna Summer, like all the oldies stuff and every genre you could possibly think of. I'm the only person I know my age that can sing like 20 different Bonnie Raitt songs. I don't know. I think she's great. Carly Simon, Carole King. I listened to all those growing up. And then, along with that, I listened to like a bunch of, rap and hip hop. Particularly as I got, in my teens. I was a little late to that, but in my teens, I kind of got into it. And when I was in high school, like nu metal was in, and I was really interested in that. I loved that sound. I was a big fan of Korn and, like that, those groups. And then, I like everything. I listen to jazz when I'm writing. I like everything. It just depends on my mood. But I grew up listening to, everything under the sun. I still have a cassette tape in my bedroom that has 60s dance party music on it from one of my sisters in like the 80s. And I will not throw that tape away because I just love it. I have nothing to play it on, but I won't throw it away, So yeah, we listen to everything, which is great. This is absolutely great.
I like that when people have a lot of different musical tastes,
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you get into a conversation about music with them, you don't get the, oh, you listen to that?
Yeah, right.
Why are you listening to that?
We listen to everything. But it made me appreciate everything. I still, I'll throw on a Bee Gees soundtrack or the Beatles, or I used to get in arguments with kids on the playground. We would have who was better, the Beatles or the Monkees. I was the only person that stood up for the Monkees because I was like, listen, they only didn't play on their first album. After that, they got to play. And they were like, yeah, I was big into it.
I was a Monkees fan too as well. Also love the Beatles.
I had a teddy bear named Mickey Dolenz. It's still around somewhere, I'm sure.
Okay, you got me beat there, Liz.
My nerdiness is coming out. I told you.
We all have that in our closet, and every once in a while, it just kind of pops out.
It's all right. No shame. I have no shame.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the movie. Now, the movie itself, Concrete Cowboys, is based on a book called Ghetto Cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it's a work of fiction, we were just saying earlier that there is a strong dose of real history in the work of fiction.
Yeah. It's kind of incredible how the movie ended up coming together, because I know, Greg Neri, the author, wrote the book because of what he knew and he had experienced. And then the director, Ricky, who's not from Philly, I believe he's from California, but he was in Philly for a couple of years. And he was in a cab or something like that, and looks out the window and a horse goes by his window. So he literally stopped the cab, got out, and was like, where what is that? And followed the guy back to the stables and heard the whole story. And so, yeah, it's kind of incredible how the movie came together, but it's absolutely based on truth and a true community that has existed since the Civil War, and not just in Philly, but I mean, nationwide. Black cowboys have existed nationwide for centuries. And, you know, as I said to you before, I'm a little ashamed to say I had no idea they existed until I got cast in this movie. So,
yeah, I found that there's actually a book written by a guy named William Katz called The Black West, and it's a lot of the Black Cowboys and kind of how the whole story behind it. But yes, it's something that the kids don't learn about in school, and it's very important.
Yeah, there was an article about the film, and it, you know, had the quote that, you know, Black cowboys have been whitewashed out of the conversation completely. And it's so true. The Hollywood, you know, mainstream cowboy movies, you don't see us in there. The books I read in school, we weren't in there either. So yeah, it's weird not knowing that this is, you know, it's in my backyard. It's 20 minutes away from where I live. And took me till this many years old to know that it was actually here. So yeah.
But I mean, you are living by a city that is like rife with history, so you're not going to get every last detail about every last story. So you're going to pass on that one.
True. But this is, I mean, you know, this is such a really cool and important part of that history that I'm excited to bring out, because, you know, again, this particular group that is in our movie, Fletcher Street Stables, you know, they're one of a couple groups, but, you know, they've been losing funding over the years. The city's been closing down stables and things like that. And so I'm excited for people to really be like, where is that? I want my kid involved in that. Where do I find them? You know, that's what I'm hoping happens.
Yeah. And it is a real place that people can find. It's not just
some of those real cowboys are in our movie playing real cowboys, you know? So that's kind of cool.
And the movie was actually filmed on location, right?
Yes, here in Philly, last August. Yeah, that was trippy, you know, walking down the streets in North Philly and just seeing I was about to say crowds of people, but if I'm going to be completely honest, it was crowds of women there to see Idris. Like, come on. You know? So I was just weird seeing just crowds of women every block, you know, but it was nice that our city got to be highlighted in that way. And I think people were very excited, like looking out their windows. Oh my goodness, there's a film crew, you know, that was exciting.
How did you come to get involved in the movie? You just got a call from an agent and said you want to try out for this movie?
My manager sent me the auditions. He said, feature film shooting in Philly. Here's the part. I don't think even she knew at that point that the part was Idris's wife. I don't think she knew, or if she did, she didn't tell me, which might have been, you know, smart on her part. I don't know, but I don't think she knew. But, you know, I was reading the scenes and I kind of got an idea. Oh, okay, it's the mother of this character. And then, you know, I'm Googling and I see, you know, Concrete Cowboy to shoot in Philly this summer. Then I see another thing, Idris Elba starring in a cowboy movie this summer, shooting in Philly. And I'm starting to just kind of connect the dots. And I'm like, I think this might be Idris's wife. And at that point, I still thought, well, there's no way, right? I'm nobody. I have no film credits. There's no way. So if anything, maybe they'll cast me as a stand-in. That's what I was going with. I was like, maybe I'll get a stand-in. And really, I was thinking, you know, I had seen the casting people a couple times. I was really focused on showing them that I could do some different things because I had been called in for sort of comedic stuff before that. And I wanted them to see like, oh, I can be a dramatic actress as well. But I was not thinking I was going to get cast in this. I had thought I had, you know, no prayers, no hopes, no chances. I'm just like, I'll be lucky if I get to be shopper number 4 in the back with the shopping cart. You know? But then, you know, I went through one round of auditions and then the second round. Somewhere between the second and the third, I started going, wait a minute. going on here? Because I'm seeing the numbers of people I see in this room are dwindling. Now it's just me. What's going on here? And at that point, I realized, I think I might actually be up for this. Like this might actually be me, you know? I did hear at one point, Ricky Staub, the director, was fighting for me, which I will appreciate until the day I die. I know that there was some discussion about, we might want to bring a name actress in for this. And he had seen my audition video and was like, I want her. And I just thought that was so cool because, again, who am I? Who am I? But he took a chance on me and said, I want her. Let's go with her. And, 3 auditions later, that was me.
I'm thinking so when they tell you, well, yeah, you'll be playing Idris Elba's wife, you were probably like, oh, all right, if I must.
I think the first time it was actually confirmed for me was in the second audition. The second time I was there. And by the way, so the part as written then is not exactly how she is now in the movie. So then in the audition stage, she was a lot more rough around the edges. She had a lot more going on in terms of she had a drug addiction, and none of this is in the movie now. The scene that they had me going in for was a real emotional scene. So I was sobbing my eyes out from the minute I walked in to the second I walked out. So I think the only time they saw me smile was the very last audition at the very end when I was, thank you, But during that second audition, mid sobbing, they're like, and this is the opposite Idris Elba. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Right now, it's like, I can't really react. I'm trying to change her. But I think at that point, they kind of were like, does she know? We should probably tell her,
The poker face worked, right?
Yeah.
When you were like,
I had figured it out before that. And I kind of was like, all right, just prepare. I don't know how far this is going to go, but this could be. And I never met him during the entire audition process, which I hear unusual. I think at some point in another kind of film, maybe we would have had like a chemistry read, or we would have met somewhere in that. I did not meet him until we were on horses on set. So, yeah.
Were you an experienced horse rider at all, or no?
No, in fact, the last time I was on a horse, I was like in college. And that's when I found out I am severely allergic to horses. Idris is as well, and so is Caleb. So, but yeah, I've been on a horse one time, and I ended up in the hospital with an EpiPen in my thigh because it was bad. After I got cast, the weekend that I got cast, I got sent the script. Of course, I read through it, and then I see at the end it says something about Mom gets on the horse. I called them up and I said, I've been one time years ago. So, also, is it bad if I'm allergic? What can I do? But yeah, no, they got me up to, Devon, the Devon stables where they do the horse show in PA, and, got me up there for a day doing some training. So yeah, they made sure I was prepared.
If worse comes to worse, were they going to just all put you on like merry-go-round horses and just make it more realistic?
I was almost afraid to even ask. I was like, I hope this doesn't mean I don't get to be in it, but I don't ride. No, they didn't ask me during the audition process, so I was like, I didn't think I would be on one until I got the script, and then I was like, oh boy. So
I've only ridden a horse once, and that was on my honeymoon.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so nice. That's nice. Yeah. My friend in college was like, hey, come home with me this weekend. We'll go horseback riding. I was like, that's cool. I've never done that. And 10 minutes later, I was, just awful.
It was funny. My wife was kind of nervous about it, but she did great. And she just had a blast. I'm riding along on this horse, and everybody was saying that I did really well. And I didn't understand why, because part of the ride, I was kind of leaning forward and whispering to the horse going, okay, just don't throw me off. I'm on my honeymoon. I don't need that as a honeymoon memory.
Yeah, I mean, they're They're beautiful, beautiful animals, but they're enormous. I mean,
Yeah.
they're just enormous. And then, you can't be nervous around the horse because then they get nervous. So it's like a lot of pressure. Once I got up there, I was okay. Well, during the training, once I got up there, I was fine. And the way it was in the script, I was going to be up there with my son. So when I trained, I was up there with the trainer, and I'm holding on to him, and I felt great and comfortable, and he knew what he was doing. But then on the set, it's being Caleb, and I met him 2 minutes ago, and then I'm up there and I'm trying to hold on to him, and it's a very different experience, being like, you got it, right? We're not going to fall, right? You got it. And, he was great. He knew exactly what he was doing. They said he did better than Idris with the horseback riding. Yeah, I'm not surprised. He was good at everything. But yeah, I mean, getting up there and trying to hold on to Caleb McLaughlin and not fangirl out over the fact that it's Caleb McLaughlin, and then the fact that Idris is right here, and then I'm on a horse. It's like, well, this is a great first day. It was fun. It was fun.
That must have been a real surreal moment for you, though.
Yeah, like they're miking me up, and I turn, and there's Caleb, and he's like, "Mom," and I'm like, "This is crazy." Mind you, I binge watched the first season of Stranger Things right before I showed up for set on my first day. So I'm thinking it's an 11-year-old Caleb McLaughlin that I'm going to see. And instead it's the 17-year-old man who's taller than me who comes out and he's like, "Mom." I'm like, "Woo!" So that was fun. And then, yeah, they get us up on a horse, and, and then they kind of move our horse up to this other horse that's just sitting there. And I just look over to my right, and there's Idris, like a foot away from me. And that's the most surreal moment, I think, of my entire life. It's just, And in fact, we had a cute little exchange because I looked at him. I didn't know what to say. And the first words out of my mouth were, "Oh, hello, husband." And he smiled at me, and he's like, "Hello, wife." And I just about died. I was like, I can get off the horse now. I'm good.
My life is good.
Yep, I can die happy. That's all I needed to do. Thank you. Thank you for hiring me.
You know what?
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the actual plot of the movie. I know you don't want to give any spoilers away. We should let the folks know.
Yeah, the story is, it's really about Cole, played by Caleb. He is a 15-year-old troubled kid in Detroit, and he's just been thrown out of, I believe it's his 5th school, maybe his 3rd. I don't know. He's been thrown out of school multiple times. So my character, his mother, is, just at the end of her rope, and she decides to drive through the night to Philadelphia to drop him off on his father's doorstep and really kind of force his dad to take an active part in his life for the summer. And of course, his dad is Idris Elba. Idris plays a black cowboy in Philly. So Cole is basically thrust into this life of the cowboy lifestyle that he's known nothing about. I kind of think of it as like a coming of age story in the sense that he really has to decide for himself. Does he want this life, in the streets, or does he want this life that's going to teach him some kind of responsibility and also allow him to bond with a father that he's never known? So that's kind of the gist of the story. There's obviously lots that happen in it, but that's kind of the bare bones outline of what goes on. So yeah.
That's a very different kind of plot too. That doesn't sound like something that's been done over and over again. It's definitely like a fresh take. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, father-son stories, we have them, but they're not like this. This is a very, kind of unique take on it. And then, like we said too, it's historical as well, because, this community that his father is in is an actual real life, cowboy community. So, no, I don't think that there's been a story really like this that's had those kind of elements interwoven in it. And it's really, really quite exciting. I'm biased, but I think it's exciting.
It sounds like it's a lot of fun. Now, they've played it at Montreal Film Festival, was it?
It was Toronto.
Toronto, okay, I'm sorry.
Toronto Film Festival, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I was reading from what, the stuff that came out afterwards, people really, really seem to enjoy it and enjoy the performances. And, it's my first movie. It's Caleb's kind of big first movie role. He's been on TV and on Broadway and stuff, but this is really his shining movie role. And, and of course, Idris is great at whatever he does.
He's like one of the coolest people in the universe.
Ricky, one of the coolest, and then Ricky Staub, it's his kind of feature film debut as well. I know he's done short films. So for at least three of us, it's a really big kind of first opportunity in a lot of ways. So in some ways, I felt like we were on an even keel. And in other ways, I was like, wait, I don't know what you're talking about. Say that again. I'm an amateur. What? There were a couple moments I'm like, I'm sorry, do you want now? But, it was a great learning experience. Absolutely. So.
Is there any talk of the movie coming to American screens? Can we look forward to a date or anything? Or nothing set yet?
I can't really say. I've heard some things, but I'm not really allowed to reveal too much. I know that we're sort of hoping that, whatever happens with it, everyone will be able to get the opportunity to see it. My hope is that, if it's not in the theater, that it'll be on a streaming service. But I really, I can't really say too much else.
Yeah, I don't want to get you in trouble, Liz.
No, it's all good. We'll see.
Is there anything else in your movie role future? Is there anything that you're looking toward, or are you just kind of taking things one film at a time?
Taking things one film at a time. This has been such a journey. Just, even getting to meet people to talk about it has been just so exciting. And I've already seen it starting to open up some doors. So in that sense, I'm very, very excited to see what's next. But as far as like what's coming up for me, I'm still working. I also write. So I'm still working on a web series that I've been writing for a few months, and we're trying to get that one up off the ground. I may have to chat with you sometime because I actually want to do a podcast, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. You're much better at this than I am. So I don't know, Jim. I don't know. You're the pro. So, but yeah. And then, as far as other movie roles, you'll see me again for sure.
We better.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna guarantee it, whether I have to write it myself or whatever. But I'll be out there.
Okay.
Sure.
And you had mentioned earlier before we started recording that you are an acting teacher on Zoom.
Yes, I work for a school called ICANN Entertainment, or ICANN Acts, and it's spelled AIKAN as in Nancy. And I've been teaching for them for a little over a year now, actually. But we have classes on Wednesday nights and Saturday mornings. I teach a preteen acting class, but there's teen classes and adult classes as well. But I love it. I love being able to, my daughter's in the class, my 13-year-old daughter's in the class. And I love being able to that's my way of giving back, sharing my knowledge, sharing some of my training. I was lucky enough to go to a conservatory style college, but that's not something that everybody has the opportunity to do. So I'm able to kind of teach some techniques and things that I know. So that's what I'm doing on the side as well.
That's really great. I know they have something called Masterclass where they have leading magicians and actors, and they give little classes like that. And who knows if this movie, launches you into the upper stratosphere, you're already there with the giving back portion.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it and I'll try to keep doing that as long as I can, because it's enjoyable for me too, watching young actors really like that spark where they make that connection of, oh, that's how I want to play this character, or oh, that's what you mean by this technique, or oh, did you see what I did? That choice I made, it was so, it felt so good. I love all of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to try to keep doing that as long as I can.
Now, being a performer, as long as you've been between acting and a musician, and you said you have a teenage daughter, What's some advice that you would probably give your daughter if she decided to go into this field?
Great question.
No math, though, I promised.
No, that's fine. Yes, no math. If it was my daughter, because I happen to think she's quite good. I'm biased again, but I've seen her act now enough where I'm like, no, you're quite good. What I would say is, if this is something that you truly, truly enjoy doing, that you want to do, don't let anything stand in your way from achieving that goal, no matter how many years it takes, no matter where your path takes you, all the detours you have to go on. If you're passionate about it, and if it's for you, it will be for you. I say this to my students too. I mean, look at me, 25 years, and I'm finally, doing the thing I've been talking about since I was 7. So, I think, and I would say this to any actor, including my daughter, but whatever you want to do, stick to it, be passionate about it, stick to it. And no matter what happens in your life, don't lose sight of the goal, right? Because so many people, so many actors, especially, we drop out, get frustrated, we give up along the way because it's too hard. Don't give up. That's my advice. I don't know that there's a magical way to do it. If there is, I haven't found it. But my thing is just don't give up. It might take a long time. It might take a short time. Usually doesn't take a short time. But if you're passionate about it, the journey is going to be worth it, no matter how much time it takes.
And you may end up as Idris Elba's wife on screen.
I mean, stranger things have happened. Exactly. Yeah. I still pinch myself pretty much at least once a day. Like, did that really happen? It did. Okay.
Well, once everybody gets to see this movie, they will know that it definitely happened. And I'm sure they're going to enjoy your performance as well.
I hope so. I really hope so.
This is Liz Priestley. Please keep an eye open for Concrete Cowboys with her, Idris Elba, and Caleb McLaughlin.
Yes.
Coming soon to someplace. Streaming service or a movie theater, we won't tell because we don't know. And keep an eye open for this lady because I think there's going to be a lot of things that we are going to be seeing her in the near future. I see an IMDb page growing very quickly.
Yes, from your mouth, Jim, to God's ears.
The Sherpa has spoken. It's a Sherpa prediction here.
It's out there. It's out in the universe. It means it's got to happen.
That's right. All right. So, Liz, thank you very much for coming on by.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
Hello there, Rebels. It's me, Jim the Podcast Sherpa, interrupting my own podcast to let you know about another podcast that I've worked on. It's a little mini-series, 5 episodes, called Too Many 80s Songs. And I didn't work on it alone. I got a lot of help with my buddy, Uncle Bruce. You know him better as Mr. Bruce, but it's Uncle Bruce. And me, Jim the Podcast Sherpa, with the 5-part podcast called Too Many 80s Songs. And we talk about what else? 80s songs. And it's just a lot of unscripted conversation, a lot of silliness, a little trivia, and a lot of music. So please check it out. New episodes debut Monday for 5 weeks through January and February. And you can hear all those songs exclusively on Spotify. That's the only place that's playing the Too Many 80s Songs show. Little hint. If you don't get to hear the songs in their entirety on Spotify, check my social media, Sherpalution, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for the link to all the songs that we included and some that we didn't. If you're a big fan of 80s music and you've got a special 80s request or dedication, send it to me. And if we get enough requests, we're going to come back and do a special request and dedication show. Hope you listen. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks so much. Viva la Sherpalution.
We're on that internet thingy at Sherpalution.com.
Thanks so much for listening to the Sherpa Screening Room. This has been your buddy, Jim the Podcast Sherpa. And thank you so much to Liz Priestley. And also a special thanks to previous guest, Michael Spedden, for introducing her into the SJ Network world. And also, of course, a thanks to Stephen Joyner for making it all happen. And Michael for the introduction. So, If you like this show and you want to follow us on social media, Sherpalution, that's the word you need to know. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'm there, all over the place, just everywhere. So, guess what we're going to be doing on Friday? We will be talking to a magician and mentalist, and we actually do a trick on the show, believe it or not. I'm not kidding. Really enjoyable. His name is Anthony Prosciutti. We will be talking to him on Friday. So if you're enjoying the show, head on over to Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or iHeartRadio. And you know what? You got a place to leave reviews. If you can, put in a nice word about the show, Too Many Podcasts, and encourage people to get involved with the Sherpalution. Nobody gets hurt. I promise nobody will get hurt. You'll make the pandemic go away. Oh, no, I'm not allowed to say that legally. Uh-oh. I see that red light flashing. We're in trouble. Okay, disregard that last statement. Pretend that I never said it. Anyway, we will be back on Friday, and Mr. Bruce, I'm sure you will be riding a horse right out of here, but just be careful around those cliffs, okay, sir? Well, thank you for showing everybody the door. And Rebels, I will see you on Friday. Viva la Sherpalution.
Thanks for listening to the Sherpa Screening Room. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review, and share this podcast. I'm Mr. Bruce, and this has been a Sherpaloo Studios production. Viva la Sherpalution!